A lot of research has been done, and one of the reasons is it would have helped with the fermentation from your foot, the fungus.
Exactly.
Help with fermentation.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's still not what I'm looking for. The main reason is because if you used shoes or stone, you would crush the seed. And if you crushed the seed, that would make the wine very, very bitter. So they would use the pads of their feet where it was impossible to crush the seed. Now we have a couple of things missing here. First of all, they would have had a covering over this square section here. This would have provided shade, and also they would have been able to hang ropes from this roof. That way they could hold on to them while they were crushing the grapes. That way they wouldn't slip. Also, this bedrock here, it's limestone, it's very, very porous. So they would have had a layer of plaster on top of it. On top of the plaster in the square section here, they would have had a layer of straw. Now the straw would have collected up a lot of the pulp and a lot of the seed before the good grape juice went through this channel into the vat below. Now a lot of you can see that there's a lower section dug out in the vat. And that's so the heavier substance could have settled in the bottom, and then the good grape juice could have been on top. Then you would have been able to scoop up the grape juice and put it away for some time between.
So was the wine press like the real found here?
The olive press, you mean?
Or the
No. That's all a replica.
Okay.
Yeah. You have just about everyone in?
Yep.
Go
ahead. Come on. No, you go.
Now, we have a very interesting tool here. Does anyone know what this is?
Fire starter.
Nope. Yeah,
Drill.
first century drill. How'd you guys know?
Everybody.
Oh.
Looks like what the Indians used to start fire.
Yeah, it does. First century drill. Also used it for drilling into stone. Would anyone like to try?
Try it, Jerry.
First century toy.
Yeah. Get that spindle.
Is everyone up here?
Yep.
Great. Alright, so now you can see that we have another half of a roof. This is actually a separate house from the one below, but this probably would have been owned by a family member, such as a cousin. Now the reason why they would build in such tight quarters was to allow security, and also for
Okay, everybody, go again. We're entering the synagogue. This is the synagogue, yeah. Rebuilt. Keep going in. Keep your hat on. Remember, we're Jews. Except for the women. Women on the left.
You know, it's interesting. In church, the women always sat on the left and the men on the right.
I don't know if I can see
So, what do
this.
we have here?
Olive press.
Had olive. Out and the colder, and if you're here on a really hot day, you can tell a huge difference. Then you have roofs. The only difference between this roof and a first century roof is that there are twice as many beams, and that's only for safety. So you can imagine that in first century, there was only every other beam. On top of the beams, you would have a layer of reed. Now that reed, on top of the reed, you would have had a layer of mortar. The mortar was made out of limestone, out of ash, chaff, and out of mud. from that mortar, you would have had a thick layer of dry soil. Yeah, here or here, however. Now, is everyone in here?
Yep.
Great. Alright, so you guys can sit down if you want to. This is a cold though. So, I don't blame you if you don't want to. So here we have a replica of a 1st century synagogue. We got our dimensions from ruins of a person. Put some form of weight on it, such as a small child or an animal. And then you hook up a donkey and you pull it around for many, many hours. Now by doing this, the rocks will grind the wheat, separating the chaff from the grain. Then you take the winnowing fork and you scoop up the chaff and the grain and you throw it up into the air. Now because the chaff is so lightweight and so brittle, and it gets so windy here as you can tell, the chaff would have blown away and the grain would have settled to the ground and you would have been able to collect it up. Now scripture talks a lot about separating the chaff from the grain. Now chaff is completely useless. It's dry, it's brittle, you strike a match to it, it's gone instantly. So it's a good thought process to think, what is the chaff in our life? And what's the grain? What is completely worthless? What's not important? And what is important? Any questions about all this?